Hi, I'm Jeff and I'm running for City Footwear Chairman. Literally. You want to be like me? Run fast, kick ass? You need running shoes. Vote Jeff White.
Greetings, I'm Matt. Through my multiple meditation sessions, Mother Earth has spoken to me and says I should run for City Footwear Chairman. See you, Brother Tree. Vote barefoot, vote Matt. Mother Nature did.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of your local news. We come to you live to bring you coverage on the debate for City Footwear Chairman. We want to know, is barefoot running an appropriate practice for you? Some specific learning objectives that we hope to achieve by the end of the debate are: 1. Define the difference between biomechanics of forefoot running versus rear foot running. 2. Describe chronic injuries associated with running shoed versus barefoot. 3. Describe the benefits of barefoot running. We're now going live at the City Footman Council where Mallory is on location.
Thanks, Charlotte. I'm live here on location at the City Footwear Chairman's debate. Before the debate begins, here are some questions for viewers at home to think about while our debaters are arguing their sides. 1. Do the benefits outweigh the cons for barefoot running? 2. How do the biomechanics of shoed runners differ from barefoot runners? 3. What are the differences between forefoot strike and rear foot strike? 4. Is barefoot running appropriate for everyone? Let's give a moment to our audience to consider the following questions before starting the debate. Well, it looks like we're ready to start the debate. So here, I'm going to pass off to Ali, our debate mediator.
Before we get started, let's have a preliminary vote. At the moment, who here would consider barefoot running? Who would remain using shoes for running? Let's kick off this debate. Firstly, what biomechanical advantages does your running method have?
When you're wearing a running shoe, your foot is supported in all planes of motion. This is done by installing a medial arch support to prevent excessive pronation and maintain the arch throughout the entire stride. Also, due to the cushioned heel pad, heel strike is more comfortable when using the rear foot strike pattern. If we take a look at these graphs and video, we see how wearing a running shoe greatly decreases the initial impact transient upon heel strike. This is because the heel pad in the shoe slows the rate of loading considerably and spreads this force out over a greater area of the foot. Also, this type of foot strike pattern then promotes a longer stride. Think about it, you can get more paces with less strides. Doesn't that seem more efficient?
Matt, your rebuttal?
Okay, let's take a look at this video again. While heel striking, you see that the foot and lower leg come to a brief stop at impact, with the foot acting as a brake. This pattern causes an increased ground reaction force equal to 6.8 times your body weight. As well, heel strike does not enable the arch of the foot to load, taking away its ability to absorb vertical force. While a shoe is designed to accommodate rear foot strike patterns, this is in no case the most efficient biomechanical way to run. With rear foot strike pattern, regardless of cushioning or not, there is a greater vertical ground reaction force applied to the lower limb. As you can see in the video, this completely eliminates the transient force upon the foot striking the ground. Furthermore, this strike pattern conserves momentum by converting vertical momentum into rotational. This results in reducing the amount of force required to initiate the next step, which will decrease the overall energy expenditure. You can see while this person is landing on their forefoot, it allows for greater dorsiflexion of the ankle, equaling to more force absorption. Next, the medial arch is flattened, which subsequently loads it with elastic energy as well as absorbs some of the impact force. This action then allows for the heel to come down in a controlled fashion. This landing pattern allows the arch to recoil when the ankle plantar flexes, pushing the body upwards and forwards for the next stride. Running barefoot encourages this type of foot strike pattern, which leads to biomechanical superiority.
Interesting facts, gentlemen. Now on the next concern. What foot adaptations are indicative of your running method?
Shoes are great for molding and correcting the foot into structural posture. They provide motion control. This can be done in a multitude of ways by manipulating the structure and composition of the shoe. For example, a medial post is inserted to prevent excessive pronation. Also, for some shoes, a heel rise lessens the stress on the Achilles tendon and the calf. As you can see, manipulating shoe structure can accommodate many issues regarding the feet.
Great points, Jeff. Matt, please provide rebuttal.
Charlotte here. I'll be answering for Matt. Looking into our history, natural selection has evolved our feet in a manner to accommodate barefoot running. Shoes only weaken our foot muscles and make them dependent on shoe technology. This is done through over-supporting, leading to decreased proprioception and somatosensory information. Barefoot running has been shown to strengthen the muscles of the foot and ankle and increase muscle tone. This leads to a more naturally supported arch, which is able to stretch and remain strong. Furthermore, running while barefoot increases proprioceptive feedback and somatosensory information by allowing interaction with the environment. This adaptation has also been shown to even be present before initial contact with the ground.
This is getting heated. Moving on, what is the prevalence and type of injuries associated with running?
With heel strike pattern running, the impact forces that are needed to absorb are higher than in forefoot strike running. This means that the runner is subjected to greater forces that can lead to stress fractures of the foot or tibia. With barefoot running, there is concern for forces while running on harder surfaces, yet it has been found that even while running on surfaces such as pavement, the vertical force remains the same between shoed versus barefoot. The difference lies in the forefoot striker's ability to distribute the force more evenly throughout the foot. A runner comes in contact with the ground 600 times per kilometer, and this repetitive loading can lead to chronic injury. With forefoot running, this force is much less and therefore more tolerable. As well, the heel strike pattern encouraged by running shoes can lead to bruising of the fat pad when switching to barefoot. As I previously mentioned, shoes weaken the foot and ankle muscles and ligaments. This may also lead to increased risk of ankle sprains. Additionally, the weakening of the foot arch causes excessive pronation and may lead to plantar fasciitis. Running barefoot, as mentioned before, will increase strength and proprioceptive awareness, thus helping to reduce the risk of injury. However, it is important to change running patterns from heels strike to forefoot strike when opting for a barefoot method. This can be done by gradually introducing barefoot or minimalist shoes into your training program.
Wow, who knew?
Matt, don't be so naive. What about our industrial environment? We have shoes for a reason. Barefoot running can put a runner at risk for cuts and bruises that may lead to infections if not properly treated. Living in a technologically advanced society, do we really want to de-evolve? Runners that switch from shoes to barefoot have been reported to suffer metatarsal injuries. Due to societal adaptations, runners use predominantly rear foot strike pattern, which is not appropriate with barefoot running. Metatarsal stress injuries arise due to overuse and lack of cushioning for heel strike pattern running. Thus, we need to wear shoes to run and absorb this stress. As for the claim of reducing injury by barefoot running, there is no difference in prevalence of injury between shoed and barefoot runners.
Can your selected running method accommodate all populations?
Well, of course, everyone has feet, don't they? Remember earlier when I said running barefoot can increase the strength of your muscles in foot and ankle? Who on this beautiful earth wouldn't want stronger feet? As well, running barefoot connects us better with the spirits of our ancestors. Who can't benefit from spiritual healing?
Okay, now Jeff, what do you have to say?
This is preposterous. Due to individual variation and constraints, barefoot running is not appropriate for all. In fact, I think it is straight up inappropriate. Consider the needs for those with special medical restrictions and those that require extra support. High arches and fallen arches rely on constructed shoe to be fully functional. Also, consider those that cannot bear to run under their own weight. For this population, a running shoe is required for safe and comfortable mobility. Barefoot running is also not a viable option for people who run in extreme conditions, such as freezing cold or high temperatures. Shoes allow for the option of modification specific to the population's needs, medical or environmental. For example, grip is added to shoes for specific terrain. Moreover, the diabetic population may suffer from sensory neuropathy and circulation issues. This in turn can result in infection of wounds from barefoot running, possibly leading to amputation. Therefore, shoes are essential for optimal functioning in all populations.
Sounds like we haven't come to a conclusion. Looks like we have to run this one out, gentlemen.
Oh no, my shoe! Karma! I really wish my ankles were stronger.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I could have used some more padding back there. I guess things ain't so cut and dry.
Well, I guess this concludes our debate. But before moving on, let's have one final vote.
Wow, what an event! Let's take a look back at the questions we brought to light at the beginning of the debate. 1. Do the benefits outweigh the cons for barefoot running? 2. How do the biomechanics of shoe runners differ from the barefoot runners? 3. What are the differences between forefoot strike and rear foot strike? 4. Is barefoot running appropriate for everyone? I'm Mallory for your local news, and now back to you, Charlotte, in the studio.
Thank you, Mallory. That was a heated debate between two extreme representatives. We learned that there is a predominant heel strike pattern that is adapted due to a highly cushioned heel pad of a shoe. This pattern has also been proven to show a greater vertical ground reaction force that has been sustained by the lower limb. In contrast, barefoot running promotes a forefoot striking pattern which results in a more balanced force absorption. Although barefoot running seems ideal in this aspect, the transition from shoes to barefoot may not be easy. Because of the adaptation seen from our population being habitually shoed, the predominant heel strike pattern can be difficult to change. However, this does not mean barefoot running is out of the question. Many people are able to safely transition by gradually incorporating a minimalist shoe into their daily training activity and program. The most important step in practicing safe running is matching between foot strike patterns and footwear. Barefoot running must be practiced with a forefoot strike pattern to avoid injuries, while shoed running can support both forefoot and heel strike patterns. This concludes our broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Charlotte from your local news. Have a good night, folks.